Hello, Zuko here, and it is time for me to do the mid-year book tag. I've heard the term freakout is ableist, and I haven't looked into that myself to confirm or deny that. I just saw someone say it, and I don't want to be unintentionally ableist, so here we are. So, question 1 is the best book that I've read in 2022. And I think it's a tie. I think that is a tie between Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki or Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. Both of these books are sci-fi. One is more contemporary sci-fi, and one is more very intense necromancers and space sci-fi. But I really enjoyed both of them. Also an honorable mention to the Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi, which I also thought was incredibly fun, and I loved reading that one a lot. Question 2 is the best sequel I've read in 2022, and that for sure is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, but I'm very much anticipating that it's going to be Nona the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. I got all the art prints. I'm so excited to frame them. I'm so excited. I, like everybody else, am just so obsessed with these books and the world, and like, even when I don't understand what's going on, I'm always having a great time. So I would say that's my favorite sequel, and that's my predicted favorite sequel. Number 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to, and I'm unclear if that means like a book that's newly released and already out, or if it means like a book I'm looking forward to. But the book that I'm looking forward to reading soon is the sequel to A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. I don't remember what it's called, one sec. Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. I'm excited to get to this, and I'm also really excited to get to What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, because I just read a book by T. Kingfisher and I really enjoyed it, and I went to go add this to my cart to like order it eventually, and then it showed up at my house, so apparently I had already pre-ordered it, but now I'm extra excited about it because I've liked a book that they've written. Question 4 is most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. Obviously Nona the Ninth. I'm also really excited for, I think, Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune is coming out this year, which I've liked his Cerulean Sea and Under the Whispering Door. I've really enjoyed. Ninth House has a sequel coming out, but it's technically coming out in January. And I think it's called Hellbent, but I could be wrong. It's by Lee Bardugo. What else am I excited and not enough about that I'm aware of it? I can't off the top of my head think of any other books that are coming out, even though I know I have a bunch of pre-orders for the second half of the year. I don't, off the top of my head, I can't remember what they are. Number 5 is my biggest disappointment. For now, I think it was In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lucan. Like, I don't know, this cover and like the synopsis and stuff made me think it was gonna be like maybe an enemies to lovers like piratey romance kind of thing, and it wasn't. And I'm finding that F.T. Lucan's books seem to be more like insta-love contemporary romances but with a fantasy setting. It doesn't do it for me because I want more plot in fantasy settings and more fantasy than romance, but you know, it's fine. Number 6 is Biggest Surprise, and I think this year my biggest surprise was how much I enjoyed A Mirror Mended by Alex E. Harrow. After I'd read A Spindle Splintered last year, I was like kind of not sold on the novella series that they're writing, and after reading A Mirror Mended, I like was almost crying. I'm just like, this is so good. So I was really surprised at how much I really enjoyed that book. Number 7 is Favorite New Author, or New to You, and I think A.M. Strickland, I've only read one of their, I think 2 books that they have out, because only one of them has an audiobook, so I'm gonna have to physically read the other one. But I was like really surprised at how much I enjoyed In the Ravenous Dark. Like I was really surprised, and I want to read more of what they write. So I think that was my favorite new author, or new to me. So yeah. Number 8 is Newest Fictional Crush. And as a 26-year-old who reads mostly YA, who's also like aromantic, my answer is no. And every year my answer is probably going to be no. Question 9 is Newest Favorite Character. And I'm so bad with names and remembering characters after I finished the book that like I'm trying to even think if I could name a character in a book I've liked that isn't like the title of the book. I guess I kind of was a fan of like Severo from the Red Rising trilogy. I've read 100 books this year, and as soon as I get asked questions about like what my favorites are, I suddenly go down to having read 0 books this year, and I've never heard of books and I don't know anything about them. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and A Mirror Mended by Alex E. Harrow almost made me cry, and that's I feel like the one I can remember at the moment. You know, I don't think any of the books that I've read otherwise have almost made me cry or made me cry, but I don't remember. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki made me really happy. And that's honestly usually why I cry, so I may have cried during that. I don't know. I cry a lot when there's like a really good, especially queer, like just a found family where there's just like love and you're like, you're just so happy for this group of people who have all found each other and who have all of this unconditional love for each other. That's usually when I cry. 12 is favorite book to film adaptation I've seen this year. I think I've maybe watched under 10 movies this year. I've watched the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. I've watched Howl's Moving Castle. I've watched Spirited Away. I've watched Camp Rock 1 and 2. That might be it. I don't think any of them were book to movie adaptations. Oh, Howl is, but I haven't read Howl. I'll say Howl's Moving Castle. It's my favorite movie. Yeah. Number 13 is favorite video you've done so far this year. I'm always a big fan of when I do the big unhauls every year because I get so many books out of my house and it just feels really good to make all of that space. And I donate most of the YA books to the school division that I grew up going to, and these school divisions have really underfunded public libraries. So they get new books that they haven't had new books in a long time. And I always hear what school they go to and how excited the librarian at that school was to receive these books. And this year I got like a card from some of the kids to say thank you. My favorite was that someone didn't know why they had a card, and it just said like, get well soon or something. And it just, like, knowing that I can make a difference in school libraries and give books to a place where kids can have access to them and read them over and over and over again instead of books that I didn't love just sitting on my shelves, where these books get to be loved, that makes me feel really good. I love that fills my heart with so much joy. So I love doing the big unhauls every year because as soon as I'm done filming those books go off to other places. Number 14 is the most beautiful book that you have bought or received this year. I think, like, objectively, I'm a really big fan of the colors of The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea in the Fairy Loot, I believe, edition. This is by Axie. Oh, I'm currently reading this book. Colors are so beautiful and whimsical. I also think objectively the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, the Illumicrate edition, like with that hollow stuff, it's just so beautiful to look at. Like even the embossing on the hardcover is like holographic, and I think that's really beautiful. And this year I also got the Waterstones exclusive edition of Anyway the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell, and I love these editions. I think they're so pretty. I don't have Wayward Sons, so if anyone is selling that, let me know, because I would love to complete my trilogy. I don't have enough copies of these books. But yeah, I think those are some of the prettiest, most beautiful books that I've bought this year so far. And question 15 is, what book do you need to read by the end of the year? And I pre-ordered The Book of Night by Holly Black on Audible and a physical copy. And I have 2 physical copies because it was, I think, an Illumicrate book. I pre-ordered it. I was so excited to get to it right away, and I haven't read it yet, so I definitely need to read that. I did the same thing with Seasonal Fears by Seanan Mcguire. I pre-ordered the audiobooks that I had access to it as soon as it came out, and I haven't read it yet because it's kind of long. And I struggle with audiobooks that are longer than like 10 hours because I stop focusing after about hour 8. Yeah, those are 2 books that I definitely need to finish before the end of the year. If you're wondering, I believe so far this year I've read 105 books as I'm filming this, so that's pretty exciting. I want to hit 200, but I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. Kind of sad. My dog is licking his face in the background. I'm sorry if you can hear that. And yeah, I think I'm done. Made your book tag. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you whenever I do my next video.